Everyone's talking about spiritual awakening. You might even be having one. But what is it really? Sophia Persephone here, and in this video I'm going to explain the mechanics behind spiritual awakening and what's really going on. We're familiar with the symptoms, we become aware that there's more to life than 3D reality, we start receiving signs and synchronicities, we establish contact with our guides and so on. But what is actually happening behind the scenes? Because we can feel that there's a big shift occurring. Well, spiritual awakening should more accurately be called integration. We're integrating, or rather we're reintegrating with our higher selves. When we incarnate in an earthly lifetime, a fragment of our soul descends and takes up residence in a human body. That's your conscious mind, and it's the major part of the human system, or the avatar as it's known. Meanwhile, your higher self remains in the upper dimensions, and that's your superconscious mind. Prior to awakening, we experience the superconscious mind as the voice of intuition, and that's your higher self giving you little messages of guidance. And the reason these messages are so fleeting and light is because until you've completed awakening, your integration level is very low. So it's like trying to listen to someone talk behind a door at the end of a very long corridor. By the way, your higher self isn't your soul, as many people think, but it's the soul that your soul was birthed from, your soul mother. In the higher dimension, it's known as the Oversoul. So in terms of the evolution of consciousness, it's a few steps ahead of you. And that's important because it's your primary guide. It's always there with you from the moment you're born to the moment you die. But we're not aware of this because when souls incarnate on Earth, we experience cosmic amnesia. We forget who we are, we forget where we came from, and we lose all of our soul level knowledge. And the reason for that is so that we can learn, because you can't learn if you already know all the answers. So every human life is just one tiny learning cycle in a much bigger learning cycle that we're all going through at soul level. So as I said, that connection to our higher self is lost when we incarnate, or at least it's lost after the age of about 5 or 6. Because when we're first born, the connection is still strong. And that's why a lot of children remember and talk about past lives. Now, the reason that we have a connection to our higher self when we're young is because being born into a human body is very disorienting for a soul. In the higher dimensions, we don't experience ourselves as an individual. We operate as part of a whole. So when we incarnate, all of that is cut off. And that's very, very confusing. So the thread of connection to our higher self is maintained for a few years, just until we acclimatize. But after that point, the connection is largely lost. So then, what is spiritual awakening? It's the rebuilding of that connection, the reintegration with our higher self. And what that really means is it's the integration of your conscious mind with your superconscious mind. You're exponentially increasing your processing power. Spiritual awakening is a process that typically takes many years, but during that process, we're progressively integrating and building this data pipeline to our higher self. So what that means is that we also progressively open up the knowledge and soul power that we always have access to when we're in the higher dimensions. So ultimately, at the end of spiritual awakening, when we've built the data pipeline and we've integrated and we've learned how to use the channel that we've built, we transcend. And that's what people mean when they talk about ascension. Ascension is the ability to raise our consciousness on a daily basis to such a level that we can operate in higher self modality from our perspective here on Earth. Level of consciousness is limited by the degree to which you're integrated. So if you're at 50% integration with your higher self, you can elevate your mind by 50% and so on. The process of integration isn't linear. It has lots of twists and turns. So if you're interested in understanding how that journey unfolds, you can watch my video on the 7 stages of spiritual awakening. I hope that clarifies what spiritual awakening is and the mechanics behind it. It's a vast topic. So if you're interested in learning more, please subscribe to my channel where I demystify the awakening journey and explain how our universe really works.